All right, everybody, it's Jenna again with David, and we are discussing chapter 3 of Chakra Yoga Healing, his book. And this chapter is all about the Manipura chakra, and I'm just going to read a quote that I read from your book that I think sums up Manipura chakra. You write, "Positive transformation depends on the right choices, intelligent decisions, and followed through with right action." And I think this perfectly sums up Manipura, which is all about willpower, taking action, creating discipline. And I thought that we would start off by talking about the type of yoga that Manipura is associated with, which is Pranayama yoga. So, David, Pranayama
is breathing, as most people see it. The word actually means the control of energy. Prana being the energy, and yama is a word used for control in Sanskrit. So it's controlling the energy, which is the breathing techniques are how we regulate and control the energy flowing through the nervous system from the brain to the body. And there's a whole science behind that. There's a lot of mathematics behind it, because it goes in rhythms and sequences, and by controlling the time for the in-breath as opposed to the out-breath, and then retentions, held in and held out. All of these are ways of controlling the energy and directing it to different areas of the body, different chakras in yoga, or different glands and organs in Western physiology. And then that also influences your thought process and your state of emotional feeling, all of which can be regulated and changed by these breathing techniques. So it's kind of a semi-elaborate science in itself. Pranayama yoga is a whole form of yoga, connected, as you said, to the third chakra.
And I just wanted to get into the difference, because it's very similar. Prana is very similar to oxygen that we've talked about with breathing, but there is a very important component to prana. So the difference between taking in oxygen and taking in prana to make the pranayama superpowered. So could you explain that?
The prana is the energy. Now you got to step further into the science aspect of molecules. Atoms and molecules are made of protons and electrons, and in quantum physics, these are made of waves of energy which snap into either being an electron for a little while and then dissolve back into waves again. This is continuously happening in physics and stated in yoga. So the electron is the little spinning particle that goes around the atom, around the proton. This is what becomes electricity in our Western culture. And every atom of oxygen that you find out here in nature, connected to nature, coming from the trees, they have extra electrons.
And this is proven, like you can actually see that extra electron.
Yeah, this is a measurable phenomenon, which hasn't been applied to Western medicine, unfortunately. But they detect this in oxygen molecules here. They look at higher altitudes. They look up into the stratosphere, high up in the clouds, where the oxygen molecules there, although they're further apart, way out there, but every atom of oxygen has like 3 or 4 or sometimes 5 extra electrons. So they're supercharged with these electrons. I mean, that would kind of burn us if we were to breathe that here. So when we breathe in, we have the air going into the lungs with the oxygen. But before it gets there, coming up through the nose, you have the olfactory bulb, where the sense of smell has all these receptors, nerve receptors in the air passages, and these pick up the electrons. The electrons aren't things in reality, they're little charges of electric energy. This goes directly into the nervous system, and it shunts right back into the brain through this big nerve, and we get a charge out of this. If you're an adept at pranayama and breathing, and you're breathing out in nature where you have a lot of this, you also have a high oxygen level. But the prana is there, and you feel it. You can almost feel it like a flow coming into your brain. And it's inspiring, it's motivating, it's optimistic, it's creative.
Is that feeling? Because I've had these sometimes when I'm practicing pranayama, when I almost take it, almost feels like I'm drinking something in, and I get this. I get pulses, like almost an electrical pulse. Is that what that is?
Yeah. This is all.
Okay.
This is the energy. It's really alive. It's an energy. It's electric, and it can have an electrifying feeling. And you can get it when you're like here by the ocean. You have the ocean waves coming in, where you have rolling, moving water. The electrons are being thrown off from the molecules of water and whatnot, and it becomes these extra electrons that are then attaching to the air molecules, and we breathe that, and we take the electron in. And when you're practicing these things, you really feel it.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell when the air is rich. And then when you go into a little cubicle office or something, the air's dead. It's like having stale beer that's been sitting on your table overnight in a glass, and it's like, I don't think I want to drink that.
Yeah.
So this is part of what we do when we breathe, and what pranayama means is that we're taking in this energy, and then we're directing it with the different techniques. This fundamental life force energy is going to different areas, and if we need to heal something, we can concentrate and send it there.
And that is actual manipura work right there. The focus and concentration to bring the prana into areas of the body to heal. That discipline and that willpower to do so is manipura.
Yeah, the willpower just to breathe needs to be there, because you have to do it. No one can give you the prana. I mean, you can take antioxidant teas and whatnot to kind of compensate for our lack of prana. But you need to do the breathing yourself. And you need to do it for a period of time.
So what about those people that are stuck in offices or like in their homes during quarantine or whatever? Like, is it as simple as buying a house plant, and like literally just breathing with it, like next to it? It sounds silly, but I'm sure.
Yeah, but you need a lot of plants to compensate. I mean, consider nature. We're out here in the jungle. There's plants all around.
And you can literally feel the difference. Like, I love waterfalls or like moving ocean. Is that the prana that you're feeling? Yeah. So people. So
it is a feeling. That's exactly it. Yeah. You feel this aliveness coming in. Like you said, you can feel like you're drinking it almost, and it's sustaining you. It is. It's like plugging in your phone to recharge the battery. It's affecting your nervous system directly, and your nervous system runs on energy. Your body runs on the oxygen molecules that has to go into a chemical breakdown with carbohydrates to release some of those electrons. But the prana is the direct electron going straight into your nervous system.
So just one way to tell if you are drinking in prana charged oxygen is your feeling.
Yeah.
Or just simply going outside, and you will feel a difference from being stuck in your house to like literally so uplifting.
Yeah, most people can feel that. You go for a walk in the park or something after being in the house all day or in the office, and just or walk by the ocean or something.
I feel like we've been so disconnected to realize that is actually healing. You know, we don't know what that is. We're like, oh, that's nice, and then that's it. But it's actually healing for us.
Yeah.
So
it's fundamentally healing, and our life depends on it. Our life, our vitality, our health. We come from that environment in the jungle, in nature, where we're always interchanging with the plants, and we've distanced ourselves.
We're no longer working with it. We're just kind of
it's beyond social distancing. We've distanced ourselves from nature, which is what keeps us alive and healthy.
Yeah. So anybody that's stuck at home, just go outside and spend some time in nature.
Yeah.
Can we talk a little bit about visualization? Because I know the eyes are is it the sensory organ of manipura? Because you see what you want, and that gives you the drive, the fire to go and get it. But can we talk about how visualization is really important when it comes to directing the prana to different areas of the body to heal?
Yeah.
Did I ask that right? You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, in yoga, visualization is used, and concentration techniques on different colors and forms, mandalas, essentially, that are known to direct the energy from the mind. The symbols, the color and form has a certain trigger that directs the energy to certain places. So what you look at is very important. And your eyes are always looking all over the place. And everywhere you look is creating a reaction in your mind of you think about what you just saw. Whether you're actively thinking about it or just bubbling up to your subconscious for a while and then you think about it, it's still one of the most powerful inputs, sensory inputs that direct what the mind is doing. So in yoga, you close your eyes and you go into meditation to stop that process.
Do you see are you supposed to visualize or see something internally? Like, can you direct the energy by visualizing like a white light going into places? Is that a part of the healing or?
Part of it. That's part of the training to develop the ability to see and to visualize. This is part of the training that is in Raja Yoga, the fifth form. The use of the mind, how to use the mind to achieve certain things, which can be from healing something in your body to visualizing how you would like to change things in your life or whatever.
Are these
this
higher?
Visual process is quite important in yoga. And I mean, Albert Einstein used the term, said in a quotation, that imagination is more important than knowledge.
Yeah.
Well, imagination is image. It's a picture. And what you are picturing is important because all of our inventions and creations started out being imagined. So what you imagine, if you focus on that image, you can bring that manifestation into reality. In technology, we imagine something and then we see and think of how we can do it and make it. As far as healing your own body, you imagine the health of your body. You imagine yourself in a higher state of vitality and health. And you can imagine a gland or an organ and take a picture from the internet someplace and just see, okay, this is what a healthy pancreas looks like. And you then breathe in oxygen and prana, and you're holding that vision, and the oxygen physically goes to the gland to rejuvenate it. The mental picture and vision and the prana go from the mind level to enact that rejuvenation. It's all working together, and you put these components of the oxygen, the prana, the vision.
So let's talk a little bit about discipline when it comes to that, because our minds like to run away, and I feel like we're so susceptible, and it's so easy to attach to a negative thought or stress, and then we allow our bodies to eat that and visualize the stress. Like if someone gives us a diagnosis, all of a sudden we're stressed out about that instead of.
Yeah.
So can we talk about like how the Manipura willpower, why we need that in order to help with our healing, the tapas, the discipline.
Yeah, well, you need to have the techniques of what to visualize, and the positive thinking, the looking at positive pictures, having positive ideas and thoughts are all part of it. But as you see in places of the world today with the inundation of fears of coronavirus, is that we start imagining maybe we cough and we see, oh my God, maybe I've got the virus. And this is the negative use of imagination. And instead we take a deep breath, sit under a tree, you got some prana, some oxygen, and you change the picture, change the image into something positive. I feel healthy. I see myself as healthy, and I have no reason to believe that I'm not healthy, in spite of what I hear on the news and all the public media that's throwing all this negativity.
But why is that so hard? Because it's so hard sometimes for me to switch that. Like I see the two options. And I know a lot of people have that too. And I guess that goes back to the second chakra with your social influence. It's so all the chakras are connected. Like, yeah.
So the social influence is the second chakra, but the third one is above it. And you have the power to change that. You can accept what you're hearing from other people, or you can choose something different. And what we're learning from the world of quantum physics is that we have unlimited possibilities. You don't have to accept the possibility of what someone is saying about disease and fear. You can take in a deep breath. Let's remember that breathing in is called inspiration. Okay? Now, if you are breathing in a positive environment where you've got nature, it is inspiring. As you said, you can close to a waterfall or in the jungle, you can feel this aliveness, this feeling better, feeling good, and enthusiasm, and all these positive things are a feeling that you get when you're doing the breathing. These are the reality, and the breathing is taking it in. Energetically, prana-wise, it's coming into your mind. Physiologically, it's coming oxygen into your body, and everything is going up. So here you need to sometimes, this is where you should apply your social distancing. Get away from the negative people who are thinking all the negative ways and fear and possibilities of, oh my God, the worst case scenario. In nature, you don't find that. If you're sitting under a tree, walking in the park, there's no real coronaviruses attacking you from the trees or anything else. I mean,
It's peaceful.
yeah, I mean, if you want to talk about viruses, you can look into the scientific level, and we've got some cool documentaries on that. Viruses are everywhere, like bacteria. They're part of nature.
We need them.
We need them.
To become stronger.
Yeah. Well, some of them are very helpful in our whole digestive process, in our immune process. It's just that
Part of life.
Yeah, it's part of life. We're completely unaware of that side of life because we've been channeled into believing that bacteria and viruses are all dangerous and a threat to us. They're part of everything. There's millions and zillions of viruses in your body all the time. They're in the soil. They're in the air you breathe. We're designed to be taking them in, and they're part of us. We're, breathing them in and exhaling them, and they're helping with our whole metabolism.
Yeah.
They're not enemies.
They're not. And we're not saying this to discount anybody that has directly been affected or got sick or family members, anything like that. We're just saying that you have more power than you think to take hold of your healing and your health. And there's just a lot more to discover than just being scared of a virus. There's actually, like you just said, there's more to it.
You can look into it, research what viruses are and what they do, and then research us, human beings, and the autoimmune system, how it deals with these things. And it's cool. We're designed to interact with the environment. The environment is full of bacteria and viruses, and this is just part of life.
So before we end this segment, I would love it if you can, just briefly, we talked about Muladhara, Swadhisthana, and now Manipura, which are the first three chakras. Can you just give a quick overview of, chakra one, this is what you have to do, chakra 2, the social, and then 3, the willpower. But just how are we all building this?
Yeah.
If you can, under 2 minutes.
Looking at the science of yoga, and you got all the physical postures and the movement that is required to maintain fluid circulation of everything in your body.
It's chakra 1.
That's the first chakra, so it needs to move, it needs to be fed good nutrition, it needs to have the oxygen.
It's your vehicle.
Yeah, and then the second chakra is also the fluid system. So it demands that you move in order to circulate, otherwise it stagnates and gets stuck.
And it's the social as well,
And this is connected to the social world where people fill you with fear, and you stop moving and you're afraid to move, and you stop breathing in the same way. So the third chakra brings in the self-empowerment and realization we have the ability to move, breathe, change, disregard someone's negative thinking, bring in a positive possibility. The universe is made of an ocean of possibilities. And in our education, we're limited to only this is the reality we know, but quantum physics has kind of blown that away. So we need to adapt to the new world view of quantum physics, unlimited possibilities. And we see these possibilities and we bring them into our reality with the breath.
Cool.
Okay.
David, thank you. So our next video is going to be about Anahata, the 4th chakra, heart chakra. So
That's it.
see you then. Okay.